Well, I said I have 5 stories. I won't tell them all. I'll just tell a couple. And I'm debating which ones to tell. So over the years, you'll hear them all, but today I'll just tell a couple of them. First, I'll tell you the story of Jennifer. Jennifer was a little kid, 11 years old, who came to camp. And it was kind of this kid who you just knew that Jennifer did not really want to be at camp, or you thought she didn't want to be at camp. She didn't like anything. She didn't like the other girls in the cabin. She didn't like anything that we did. Do we have to do this? Do we have to do this? Do we have to do everything? What are you talking about? Can't we just go swimming? I mean, that's, 11-year-old girls. One day we had our family group time, our cabin group time, and I said, we're going to sit down and write a letter to God. That was Jennifer's response. And I will send you these letters come Christmas time. That'll be about 3 months from now. Do I really have to do this? Yes. Believe me, you'll enjoy this when it comes to you at Christmas time. You'll enjoy this letter. Oh, all right. Give me the paper. Give me the pencil. And she wrote. I gave her the envelope. She wrote her name on the outside, and she sealed the envelope. Later that week, at the end of the week, I told all the girls goodbye and didn't think anything of it. She had said her goodbyes to the other girls, and we went to our staff meeting, as we always did. Later that day, I got a message from who became my husband, but he was the director of that camp. He came to me and he said, I got some really bad news. On the way home, Jennifer and her mother were driving down the road, and for some reason her mother drove left of center and they were both killed. I was devastated. The whole camp was devastated. We just weren't sure what to do with ourselves. But something told me to go read that letter that she had written to God a couple days before. The letter said, this is not a direct quote, but it's pretty close because it's been in my heart for all these years. Dear God, I love camp, and I love you, and I love my counselor, Lisa. Thank you for letting me be at camp this week. Signed, your friend Jennifer. I bawled and bawled and bawled for the rest of that day as I wrote notes to her fellow campers and told them what happened. That's one story. The next story is about a little boy named Easton, but we called him Tarzan because when he wasn't at camp, he wore shorts and he wore long blonde hair. At camp, he had to wear shoes and he had to wear a shirt. But when he was at home, and we knew him from around town, he was a day camper, so we always saw him. He was a cute, neatest kid. But he's another one of those kids that went, I just want to fish. Can I do anything else? Do I have to do this? Do I have to go to Bible study? Do I have to do this? Do I have to do crafts? I really have to go outside and fish. Yes, Easton, you have to do those things. And a little later, you can go fishing. Well, one day, I was leading the group in a morning chapel, and we were talking about, it was a Christmas theme. So I had this box, and it was wrapped in Christmas paper. And I pulled things out of the box, and I said, what does all these things have to do with Christmas? They were simple things like a pair of socks and a fork. And the thought was, Jesus came in a simple way with simple things. And one little girl said, you know what I thought you were going to say about that box? That Jesus came came to us in simple. And it would have been an Easter message. I said, well, it could have been an Easter message. But if I was giving you an Easter message about the resurrection, what would I have put in the box? And the kids all put their little hands up and they were saying different things. And one said, you could have put a cross in there because Jesus died on the cross. Yes, that's right, I could have done that. And someone else said something else about, you could have put pieces of cloth in there because that's what was left when they went to the resurrection. Or you could have put a stone because they rolled the stone away. And this and melted Eastern kids need cake. Okay, let's see. We're going to do, he's got the whole world followed up in my
I'll just give you the first thing. Well, you all know the first verse. He's got the whole world in his hands. It's on the back sheet of the. Oh, it's on. Okay,
It's on the back of your handout.
Maybe I better have that.
He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole wide world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the wind and the rain in his hands. He's got the sun and the moon in his hands. He's got the wind and the rain. In his hands, he's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the tiny little baby in his hands. He's got the helpless little baby in his hands. He's got the tiny little baby in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got you and me and brother in his hands. He's got you and me and sister. In his hands, he's got you and me and brother. In his hands, he's got the whole world in his hands. He's got everybody in his hands. He's got everybody. In his hands, he's got everybody. In his hands, he's got the whole world in his hands. My God, my Lord, Kumbaya. My God, my Lord, Kumbaya. Kumbaya, my Lord, Kumbaya. Oh, Lord, Kumbaya. Someone's crying, my Lord, Kumbaya. Someone's crying, Lord, Kumbaya. Someone's crying, Lord, Kumbaya. Oh, Lord, Kumbaya. Someone's singing, Lord, Kumbaya. Someone's singing, Lord, Kumbaya. Someone's singing, Lord, Kumbaya. Oh, Lord, Kumbaya. Someone's praying, Lord, Kumbaya. Someone's praying, Lord, Kumbaya. Someone's great Lord, kumbaya.
I've lost my bullets somewhere, but I think I know what I'm doing. I think I'm doing the joys and concerns next. What would you like to share by way of joys, concerns, blessings, burdens on your heart?
Well, my son called me yesterday and said he's finally got a job starting on the 5th of May. So he was glad. And he said he's going to work for an outfit that rehabs houses that have been maybe burned or had some kind of damages. And he's going to work for them as a salesperson. He said after 32 years in insurance, he wanted to try something different.
Yesterday afternoon, I was just going about my work on the farm and got a phone call from my grandson, Logan. He said, "We're on our way up with our camper. Can we camp at your farm tonight?" I said, "Well, sure." So they brought their camper in and parked it down by the pond, and we had a nice time last night. So it was a good experience with his wife and two little girls. They were everywhere. It's also a sad time for me. 2 years ago, this coming Wednesday, Norma died, and it's been a lonesome time without her at my side. I'm sure many of you have experienced the same thing, so we just keep pushing forward and try to do the best we can in the future.
I don't know if some of you know, but Nathan has switched jobs again. He had a bit of a hard time at Manchester with an all-female crew and him being the only man. But now he is a cook at Timbercrest with me. And some days he comes home and he enjoys it and says that he likes it more, but he's still kind of having trouble with having an entire industry shift in his career, moving from factory work to cleaning and cooking. And so some days he comes home and says he thinks he wants to stay with it and keep doing cooking stuff. And then sometimes he says he wants to look for something else and do maybe car part things, but he's just not sure right now. And so just keep him in your thoughts with this unsure time for him as he tries to figure out what he wants to do with the rest of his life.
Well, we're really happy to be home, although I don't know if we were quite ready, but as many of you know, we came home a little bit early this year so that we could then go out to Colorado to help our son and his wife move to North Carolina because of a job transfer. So we got home, and the day we got home, we were able to see Ava's band concert, so that was great news, and it was always good to see that. And then we flew out to Denver and helped them get loaded up, and they had a lot of junk, and they weren't quite ready, but we got there. Then we spent a whole day getting their house ready to put it on the market, and then we started cross country, and on the way we were able to stop here for one night, and everybody got to see everybody. So Tara got to see all her family, and I got to see Megan and the kids and everybody. And then we got out to North Carolina and helped get them unpacked and all that, and finally got home. And so we've gotten to see a couple of Ava's track meets this week, so that's been fun. And today she's getting her academic letter, so we'll go there this afternoon for that. But really a good praise that happened out of that is the kids put their house on the market on Monday, and on Friday they were under contract. So we're keeping our fingers crossed that that all works out. And they're renting a place right now for a year until they get a feel for the area and see where they really want to end up. But So yeah, it's been a busy, crazy 2 weeks and we're kind of excited to just do nothing.
So I think I said last week that Alyssa had a job offer in pediatrics in one of the Parkview hospitals in Fort Wayne. Now she has possibly another offer in trauma care, which would be better hours for, wouldn't be 3 12-hour shifts, it'd be like 5 or 5 8-hour shifts or something. So if she gets this offer from this other hospital, she'll mull that over and see which one fits best for her. But either way, it sounds like she won't have any problems finding a job in nursing because they're so plentiful in the openings. So she's just gonna pray about it and see where God wants to lead her. So, and Cullen's also, he's possibly looking at going back to school also. He said he's gonna meet with someone in Ivy Tech yesterday about possibly going back to school for whatever he wants to get into, I'm not sure, but, so he's got a lot on his plate too, that he's looking at mulling around. God will lead him in the right direction too, I'm sure.
It's good to be back after a couple of weeks of being gone myself. The first weekend was a great educational conference for me, as well as getting reelected to the MBA board, so that's exciting. And then last weekend for Easter, Eric and I were able to go down to Deanna Kelly's house for lunch on Saturday, and then on Sunday, we got to go with them to Pleasant Hill to hear him give the message there, and that was wonderful, and Kevin was able to join us too.
What else?
Hogging the mic this morning. I did have my stitches taken out this week on Tuesday of my big left toe, and they said it was healing good, but it heals very slow because you're on your feet a lot, and that's putting a lot of pressure on your toe, and it's still swollen, so it might be several more weeks before it's finally back to where it should be, they said, but at least I'm able to get the stitches out and just let it heal.
There are some men who were fishing, and he invited them to join his hiking excursion. And together they went searching for a new kind of fish. He called them people. And others joined in that. One day he went hiking and he found someone who was preaching and teaching, his cousin in fact. And he was speaking to the crowd and who was saying to them, turn away from your old ways, turn around. And so he went into the river and was washed away, and he received, his sins were washed away, and the sins of the baptism, and he received the Holy Spirit that came down in the form of a dove. And then Jesus spent 40 days and 40 nights wandering through the deserts. Does not say God created human beings. It said God so loved the world so much that he gave his son. God sent the world, God sent Jesus into the world because he loved the world. All of creation is important. And it's our responsibility to care for creation and to keep it clean and safe for the children and our children's children and for generations and generations and generations to come. I encourage all of us this week to enjoy creation, to get out and be a part of creation. And if we see something that needs our attention, litter, things that aren't supposed to be there. Take care of it. To be a part of making what makes the world a better place. Enjoy